I want to talk with Joe Thomas. He is the president of the AEA and has been out here this morning with his fellow teachers. Tell me about this deal. It doesn't sound, some people say it sounds good, you say not so much.
Well, we've not seen it. All we've seen is a tweet and a few talking points, and students need more than that. We need sustainable funding. Where does the revenue come to have all these big numbers that the governor's talking about? And we really need to focus on what's in this year's budget, because he can't provide anything after that. That's all just kind of spin. So when he talks about a 3-year budget, that's not reality. Reality is what they can put in 1 year and what we can guarantee will be there for our students into the future.
Now, the governor said on TV and on the radio on Friday that this meets all of the teachers' demands. So to a lot of people, that sounds like something that would be good news, and you would question, well, why didn't they work over the weekend, have a conversation with Joe Thomas here and Noah Carvelis, the leaders of the Red for Ed movement? But Governor Ducey himself has already answered that question, and he did so when he was asked on KTAR radio why he won't meet with the leaders of Red for Ed. This is what he said.
These are folks on the day they inaugurated their organization, they endorsed my opponent or potential opponent for governor.
It's a political. Red for Ed or the union more? It wasn't more Joe Thomas.
Well, that's one of the people that wants to sit down.
Would you sit down with him?
Why would I sit down with someone who just wants to play games? I want to sit down with teachers. I want to sit down with superintendents and principals. These are the folks that make the decisions on where the dollars go.
All right, so out of the governor's own mouth here, he says that you are playing games and you're just a political operative. Could this have all been resolved over the weekend if the deal was as good as it sounds and you guys had sat down and had a conversation? Would this be happening today?
Well, I mean, it is disappointing that the governor won't meet with educators that are really standing up for their students. He's the only governor we have right now. He's the one that's going to sign whatever budget comes through, and that's why we want to talk to him and let him understand the real plight of our students. This entire struggle is to bring better schools to our students. We need to move $1 billion back into our classrooms that was taken right as we moved into the recession, and it's not been restored. That's higher class sizes, that's really low teacher salary, that's not being able to attract and retain the best talent into our schools, and we have to address all of that, not just one piece of it. The governor's trying to make this like it's a salary dispute. It's not. It's about our students and giving them the best possible schools they can have, and that's why we want to sit down and understand his plan, and so far he's just, he won't answer the door, and it's really sad.
We got just a couple of seconds left. Both sides of this, you guys seem pretty dug in your heels into what it is you want, your demands. The governor says he's not going to budge and he's not going to talk to you. If those two things can't happen, if you guys can't even sit down and have a conversation, how does this teacher walkout end?
I think that's a great question for the governor. I wish he would just publicly release his budget. Then at least we could see what was in it and what was going to be moving through the legislative process, and we could begin working with our legislators. But so far he's kept his budget in secret. He just tweets about how wonderful it is, but that doesn't really show us where does the money come from, where's the money going, and how does it impact students. That's what we care about, is the best possible schools we can have for every kid in this state.
All right. Thank you, Joe Thomas, joining us this morning on Good Morning Arizona. I appreciate it. So there you have it from Joe Thomas. One of the ways to end this is if they would just sit down and have a conversation. But as you heard from the governor's own mouth, he's not going to do that because Joe Thomas and Noah Carvelis and the Red for Ed movement has endorsed his political opponent for governor coming up this November. So as it stands right now, here we are, day 3, hundreds of teachers. I don't want to underestimate because I can't see everyone, but there are definitely hundreds. On Friday, they said there were still 25,000 teachers out here. Of course, Thursday, there were 75,000. So day 3, and this thing is still going strong. And still, as of right now, no sign of this ending until there can be a conversation. We're live at the Capitol this morning. I'm Cameron Woodle, Arizona's family.
All right. Well, it'll be interesting.
Impasse.
Yeah, it'll be interesting if there is no meeting and they sign off on this thing today. Is it good enough? That's the bottom line. We'll find out.
Cameron, thank you.
Arizona's family staying on top of the latest in the teacher walkouts as we wait for a deal. We have all the information on our free AZ Family app.
Flags across